Following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Hello and welcome to the Epic Love Show, celebrating our 100th episode this evening, featuring special guest, empowerment coach, Dede Lyons. Woo! Yeah, we have some fans here in the studio with us tonight. We couldn't celebrate and have a big party because of the pandemic, but that's okay. We're celebrating with everybody all over the world. I'm your host, Travis Suit, and I believe one of the most valuable gifts you can give yourself is love. And I'm here to share stories of how we persevere through adversity to bring that gift of love to the world. And your journey to become more inspired to take action in the name of love starts right now. The Epic Love Show is brought to you by the Piper's Angels Foundation for Cystic Fibrosis. You can learn more at pipersangels.org. We are live each week on Facebook and YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and always available for playback on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Pandora. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners and all the epic lovers out there making a difference in the world. We truly appreciate your dedicated support. And joining me in studio, as always, is our audio and visual engineer, Jason, the Epic Jokester.
What's going on, Travis?
Take it away, Jay.
Take it away, Jay. All right, hold on. Well, I got to pull them up.
You see how I did that?
Take it away, Jay. I know. All right, so let's see. So I don't know about you, but I have a major problem with dreams. So the other day I had a dream that I was swimming in an ocean of orange soda.
Wow.
I was trying to find out what it was about, but I found out it was just a fantasy.
That's great. I love that because, first of all, we have ocean behind us.
Yeah, I know.
Ocean themed here. And also, I have a dream that I'm going to share later on with our guests.
All right. I love orange soda.
I do too.
All right.
Haven't had in a while, but
so, the other thing is, I really miss going out and everything like that. So before the whole pandemic and everything, I actually went to the zoo. I saw a piece of toast that was in a cage and the sign said that it was bred in captivity.
That one's good. I like that one a lot. Oh man. Classic. Well, thank you.
Thank you
for always kicking us off
Absolutely.
With a big smile and some laughter. Laughter is healing. All right. Now it's time for me to blast some gratitude out into the world with some special thanks to everyone who has had a hand in making this show a success and making Wednesday evenings for me one of the greatest joys of my life. It was the inspiring story of a father with a little girl with cystic fibrosis that changed my life forever. And so it's my honor to carry forward the mission of sharing inspiring stories of love through action. And that's why we're here on the Epic Love Show. So please be patient with me. I have several thank yous I want to throw out there. First and foremost, thank you to Dean and Jason of W4CY for always working tirelessly to make this show technically on point and sound.
Dean isn't here, but on behalf of Dean, I will say that it's our pleasure. I have a lot of fun doing this with you. I look forward to it every Wednesday night. So I appreciate it and be able to get my remedy of laughing out every week. So thank you.
Thanks, Jason. It's an honor to sit on the other side of the table with you here and mirror our love in the world. Thank you to Chad, who was a former audio engineer for the show, who passed away, but will always be in our hearts. He really brought a lot of good energy to the show, and we miss him dearly. Thank you to former host Blair McKnight, Where's Blair, and her father, David Allen, for their significant contributions to the growth of the show and all the good times and the laughter. I miss you guys. Thank you to Jeremy Howard of Inlet Properties in the house. Inlet Properties here in Jupiter, Florida is where we have such a wonderful place to host our studio and produce our show. So thank you to Jeremy. Thank you to everybody tuning in tonight. Love all the comments. We appreciate it. It makes this show super fun. So thank you, everybody out there. Thank you to all of Piper's Angels and the Crossing for Cystic Fibrosis community, all of our Crossing Crusaders, for your enduring commitment and your remarkable daring in paddling 80 miles from the Bahamas to Florida every June on Father's Day weekend. This organization, the Piper's Angels Foundation, this show wouldn't be possible without you. I hope you know that. And thank you to our board of directors and our advisory board members for bringing your best all the way, all the time, being in my corner, and making this all a reality. Thank you so much. And to my sweetheart of divine resonance, who happens to be sitting in studio here with us, Danny Diaz, for always showing up in all of your love and support. It's greatly appreciated. And to my mom, for always being my number one fan. And last but not least, to my angel Piper, for teaching me how to truly treat life as a gift and why this show exists in the first place. So, without further ado, in celebrating tonight's 100th episode, this week's amazing featured guest is Dede Lyons. She is a returning guest. That's how you know how much we love her. And Dede Lyons is an empowerment coach, author, motivational speaker, and founder of the Feel Good Express lifestyle program. Who doesn't want to get a piece of that? Dede guides clients with the tools to attract a joy-filled life. Lyons' lifelong passion for feeling good, coupled with her success at guiding others to feel energized, inspired her to create the Feel Good Express methodology for all of life's challenges. Whether clients are working towards self-love, attracting a soulmate, opening their spiritual connection, or revamping a business plan, the effortless Feel Good Express practices will catapult you towards achieving your personal and professional goals. Dede, it is wonderful to have you back.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be back on the lucky 100th episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for celebrating with us.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, and the technology, it's working. Yay!
I know. Yay!
In the nick of time, right?
Grandma Dede did it.
So give me an update. It's been been a while since you've been on the show, but how has life been since this global pandemic has started?
Well, life has been overwhelming, and it's also been, filled with emotions that bring us down. But because I've been using my tools, it's been helping me. But we need to use them more than ever before. And I had this accident March 16th, right in the middle of the COVID pandemic. And I broke my right wrist. Look at me, I'm like happy. I broke my right wrist and my right ankle. But that really gave me some new strengths. I delved in my vulnerability, and I got some aha moments, and I started doing angel workshops online. So it hasn't been too bad, I have to say, but it's definitely a whole different world out there. But I'm just trying to keep my core strong and stay positive.
Beautiful, beautiful outlook. Now, were you ice skating or mountain climbing or bull riding when you broke?
I like to say that. I like to tell when people saw me with my 2 casts, I would say, yes, I was on the Black Mogul Trail in Aspen, or I jumped out of a parachute and my chute didn't open properly. But no, I tripped. It was a real klutzy thing, but it got me really, I would say, stronger and happier now that I look back 3.5 months later.
Are you fully healed? Does everything feel good now?
Pretty much. I mean, I have in my right wrist, I have a plate and 9 screws. Oh, wow. So my flexibility is about 90% back. So I'm still working on it, but yeah, I'm going to be able to do up dog and down dog by the fall. That's my goal.
Nice. So now you're not only an empowerment coach, but you're empowered as the bionic woman now that you have.
Right. Exactly.
you're strengthened.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, so for those tuning in, some people might be asking, what's the Feel Good Express? So tell us a little bit about the Feel Good Express lifestyle program.
Okay, the Feel Good Express, what I do is it's a lifelong program. I give you tools for life. So I show you how to release the lower vibrating emotions of worry, doubt, fear, frustration, anxiety, and my tools lift you up to hope, and then eventually up to joy, gratitude, compassion, and love. And once you start using these tools, you will start attracting abundance in finance, career opportunities, love, and of course, angelic connections. And you'll just start to feel happier and more grounded.
Awesome. Well, no, so when you say angelic connections, what do you mean?
Well, I should preface it with unseen helpers, because whenever I do my angel workshops online or in person, or even my privates, when I ask people, how many people believe in unseen helpers? Everybody raises their hand. And when I talk about unseen helpers, we have angels, obviously, the universe, ascended masters, deceased loved ones, deceased pets. A lot of people connect with their deceased pets, including me. So it could be, like I said, ascended masters. It could be Mother Teresa. It doesn't matter as long as you feel that you can connect with the unseen helpers and feel protected and guided and just safer.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. And I thought for a second there you said ascended pests, which I'm totally down for ascended pets, but there might be some pests that I have met along my path that I would not want to meet.
You never know. There may be some connections you can make with those that can teach us some stuff too.
They might be. Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I've gotten in the habit, of now I take any critters outside if they're ever visiting me in the house, and it's a pleasure, honestly, to take them out. I have transcended that fear. And so when did you learn, because we've talked about this in the past, but when did you learn to journal your angels? So these unseen helpers, which I totally believe in, and in my perception and reality, absolutely. And I'm excited to share a little story with you later about a recent experience that I think will really resonate with your work. But how did you develop that channel with the angels in your style of journaling?
Probably, let's see, it was in 1997, and I had an angel reading. And actually, the way I got the angel reading was amazing, because I had a career setback. And of course, I was going to get highlights the next day. And I'm telling, because you tell your hairdresser everything, almost like your bartender or your priest,
Right.
your therapist. And I was sharing this story with him of what was going on. And there was a woman sitting next to me, and she said, "Oh, you are so ripe for an angel reading." And I went, "An angel reading? What's that?" So she said, kind of like astrology or tarot or whatever, but there's a woman that actually connects you with your guardian angel. And I was living in New York, Manhattan at the time. And also what happened at that very moment, I should say but maybe a half hour earlier, I was in the subway on 53rd Street heading downtown to 10th Street to get, my hair highlighted. And I saw Time magazine on the newsstand, and it had, "Is there a heaven? Do you believe in angels?" and all this stuff. And I'm going, Time magazine, Newsweek, what that's all in there. It's all news. So of course I bought it, got on the subway, and then that was another conversation I was having with my hairdresser. And then it was a little boutique hairdresser place with maybe 4 stools or 4 chairs. And anyway, the woman next to me was listening to we were all talking about angels and heaven. And that's when she said, "You're ripe for an angel reading." So soon after that, I contacted Trudy Griswold, who wrote this great book called Angel Speak. And I took the train up to Connecticut, and she showed me how to connect with my angels. She told me my guardian angel. She told me I had 2, Jeremy and Samantha. And then maybe a month later, she had a class on writing to your angels. And soon after that, I just started journaling, and I was journaling a lot. And one day when I was journaling, my handwriting changed, really different, a whole different penmanship. And it was going really fast across the page. And I was saying, woo, I'm getting connected. I'm getting answers. And before you knew it, after like maybe years of just journaling, I started to get messages just by being in the shower or being in nature. And they come in all the time now. So it's such a treat.
That's beautiful. And so you said it was Judy Griswold, Angels Speak was the book?
Yes, Trudy, Trudy, Trudy Griswold. And it's called Angels Speak with an E at the end. I usually have a copy with me, but I don't today. Okay.
Have you ever, are you aware of Lorna Byrne and her book, Angels in My Hair?
No. Oh, I have to write that down and get that.
I read it a couple years ago, and she has been seeing auras and light beings and angels since she was 2 years old. And she's a mystic in Ireland. And the stories and the evidence, right, of what she sees is it's mind blowing to me. And that really, it compelled me to really believe more in that energy and in angels in my life. And so definitely check it out.
Okay, I definitely will check it out. And, Travis, I forgot to do this, but I know we talked about this on the phone earlier today, but I always pull an angel theme card. And the reason I do it, whether I'm doing a workshop or a one-on-one, I even did it when I was, on the board at the Women's Chamber, and we pull them before breakfast. It's just really fun to do, and we get a little message as we're going in. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pick a card for us, and it's coming out of the Angel Healing deck, and this will be our theme as we continue sharing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I got study. And study is about learning and learning more things. And it's also, for me, I love that what you just said about that woman in Ireland that wrote that book. Mm-hmm. I'm always open to learning new things. And that's the theme for our chat today. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the study card. And it's reminding me that I need to study a little bit more too, because I love learning. I'm like the perennial student here. Okay, so the study card. Okay.
I love that it has a rainbow on it. That's very significant.
Yes. Love that. The rainbow. The study card. So what it says is you are engaged to learning and studying right now. Your angels guide you to take time to read, listen, and grow. This card validates that this is an important time for you to learn new ideas and skills. Perhaps you feel guided to enroll in a class, and this card confirms that feeling. If you are currently attending school, the angels ask you to continue. So I'm in a learning phase. You're in a learning phase, and so is our audience. All right.
Awesome. So that's so crazy how aligned and in sync that is, because I just signed up for a class with the Four Winds Society called Healing the Dark Side. And it's like a 27-hour course online right now. And it starts next week. And my girlfriend, Danny, who's in studio here with us, she just signed up for a quantum healing course. And she just began that recently.
That's great. I'm getting angel bumps right now for you guys. All right.
Yeah. Also for me, I've got a personal issue in my family that I'm dealing with, that I'm having to learn a lot about how to handle it and to take care of it as well. So it's a big period of learning for me as well. So that's a really cool card, Dede.
Okay, good. I love it. Thanks, angels.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for bringing those and pulling that card. That was really special. So why is it important to you to show others this magical process that you have cultivated and developed?
I feel it's so important because it helps you feel better. And the journaling, and I'll just, show my little journal here, the Feel Good Journal.
I love my journal, by the way.
Oh, thank you. That's actually one of my grandsons 6 years ago. He's now 9. I think he was three there. And then that's my favorite beach in Sag Harbor. And then there's my favorite beach in West Palm Beach, right under, I don't know if you know that, under the clock off of Worth Avenue. Yeah. And anyway, so my sister helped me do the whole journal together. I have a lot of writing in there, but it has a heart and a butterfly and an angel and all my quotes. And it's just, it has a lot of magic in it. But the reason I want people to journal to their angels and connect with their angels, because I know what it's done for me. And I see what it does for others. Because, people, once I start working with people, whether it could be just, one seminar or one one-on-one, I see a difference and they feel a difference, and they'll, email me or call me or send me a text and say, oh my God, I just saw a feather in my path. Oh my God, I heard that song on the radio that I needed to hear. Or I saw something on the back of a license plate that said peace just exactly when I needed it. So it just makes people feel better. And we have to find ways to feel better now, right? Like really feel better with all that isolation and worry.
Hugely helpful right now, especially so, and so how would this and why would this be so important right now during this pandemic when people are
obviously we all have worry, doubt, fear, frustration, sadness, anger. Those are emotions that are part of life, but now we're inundated, we're overwhelmed with it because of, just turn on the news for a minute and you're like, oh my God, look at the numbers. So we need it more now because we have to keep our immune system strong, right?
Right.
And worry, doubt, and fear and all of those lower vibrating emotions drag you down and make you anxious and lower the immune system. So it's okay to have these feelings. And I always say, embrace them, give them a hug, but don't spend a lot of time with them. And the tools I give you through the journaling and some of the other tools that we'll talk about. Actually, this is a perfect time to talk about my favorite tool that you do right before you journal. And it came from a book called The Artist Way. I read it in the mid-90s. The author is Julia Cameron. And she had her artists and her dancers, singers, producers all do this before they started to create. Because she felt that there are certain things that are in your mind that are blocking your creativity and producing. So what it's called is the morning papers. So I just take, I'm showing you sheets of paper, but basically 3 sides of a yellow pad or 3 papers, and you write down everything that you have worry, doubt, fear, frustration, sadness about, right? But you write it with feelings. So I am so sad about this. I am so worried about this. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm still hanging on to that. And at the end of 5 to 7 minutes, you shred it, you rip it up, and you get them out. So you get these out, and I call them joy blockers or whatever you want to call them, but they're the lower vibrating emotions, and it's very hard to connect to your higher knowing, your angels, even your communication with others when you're bogged down in that. So, but you have to do it every day. I've been doing it almost every day for many years, like 20 some odd years. And I can tell a difference. Even my husband will know. He'll go, did you do your morning papers? Or, I use a lot of aroma oil too. And he'll even say, hey, do I have it in front of the camera? Yeah, there it is, my oils. Did you put your oils on? So I have all kinds of tools, but this particular one, and then you go into gratitude and journaling. But I always say, just lift them out. But you've got to feel them. You can't push them down. You just have to feel them. And like I said, it's life. They come back. But don't spend a lot of time with them.
So how does, when you're doing the journaling, you're writing, obviously it's a tool, you're connecting, that's coming out from within, whether it's from your heart or your mind. But how does that tool, the journaling, actually help connect us to the higher self and to our unseen helpers and angels?
Okay. So when you start journaling, and if you had a class with me, I would say, if you hadn't journaled before, you are journaling to your best friend in the entire world who loves you inside out and backwards and no judgment.
Mm.
So you start sharing with them after you release your worries and doubts and say, okay, I'm ready to connect. I'm ready to feel guided and protected. I have this going on in my life. Can you give me some insights? And you start just writing free form, and like you're writing to your best friend, like I say, your best angel friend. And sooner or later, you will start connecting. You will feel the connection. Now, some people will go, well, I did get answers to my questions, or I did feel this, but how do I know it's really from my angel? And I always say, well, it doesn't matter if it's from your higher self, your deceased loved one, an angel, as long as that resonates with you. And sooner or later, you're going to crave journaling, or won't journal for a week or two and go, I got to journal. That connection is going to make you feel better and different.
Got it. So I got to ask, so with the essential oils, what are your favorite aromas there?
Okay. So my favorite is white angelica. And I've been using these oils, I think everything since the mid 90s. I think that's when Young Living opened up. But am I getting it right? Yeah. So white angelica, this particular oil blocks all negative energy coming in and going out. People tell me they need buckets of it. I'm like, okay. But this I've had for already, I got this in November, and there's still like a half a year left in it. And when I worked at News Channel 5, we used to call it the closing oil because when you put it on, you start giggling. And then when you go see a new client or an existing client that might be a little cranky and you shake their hand, you have a little oil, everybody's laughing. And they're like, okay, we want to buy, we want to advertise. But really, it's very important for people who are very empathic, which I sense and I feel that you are, Travis, because it protects your boundaries. Because when we're empathic, sometimes we're absorbing other people's energies that aren't the good energies. It's good to, absorb ones that are fun and light, but sometimes people can be a little draining. So I wear it a lot and love it. So that's the favorite. I call that like my base coat.
Oh, I like that. The base coat.
Yeah, just to camouflage the grays. Then I love Awaken. This is another one I have. And it just awakens to your creativity, your beauty, your inside outside liveliness. It's real. And I remember one time I was at a breakfast meeting and I gave it to one of the women that was a member at the news channel, at the Women's Chamber. And I saw her the next day and she said, oh my God, she had like 4 cases and she was exhausted. But she said, I went through all those cases at court and I was like, boom, boom, boom. And at 6 o'clock, I was still all awake. So I love that one. And then I love rose. I put that on my heart chakra every day because I want to keep my heart open. So yeah, I've got many more. I do aromatherapy classes. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I love my oils.
Good to know. That's a great tool. And thank you for sharing. And what brand is that?
This is the Young Living brand. So I'm a distributor, but I just pass along my discount to my clients because I'm not into the whole pyramid thing, but that's what it is. Young Living oils.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So my favorite for in the evening, there's nothing more that I love in this world than to put lavender on my wrists and on my neck right before I go to sleep. I just feel like I'm laying down in a bed of flowers, and it really helps me fall asleep almost instantaneously. And I don't have a problem sleeping, but that lavender, and I get it at Whole Foods. I think it's the Garden of Life brand.
Yes, it's a great brand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I put lavender on at night too, and put like a little, wipe my pillow a little bit, just put a little on the ends of the pillow. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I use a little bit of lemongrass during the day. Just it kind of has that awakening feeling for me too. I like that.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Well, fun. That's good to know we share in that practice. Definitely recommend it to anybody out there. I didn't pay attention to essential oils for years. And then one day, I think it was my sister Leanne, she had some with her and I tried it and I was like, oh, so you can it's okay to put it on your skin, that's okay. And oh man, I'm really sensitive to smell. So it was, it's really helpful.
Yeah,
And
it's really good. I'm careful with, like I wear maybe 2 or 3, but I don't pile them on top of each other. Like with lavender, the bottom of my feet, the back of my knees. Like, it depends on what you want. But, here and here and here and here is normal. But some people are like, oh, I need another layer. Don't keep layering. But when you put them near the back of your knees and the bottom of your feet, they go, woo, right into your system.
Good to know. Yeah, we put some essential oils in the care packages that we deliver to the hospitals when people with cystic fibrosis, some of the families in our community or patients when they're in the hospital. And it definitely in a clinical setting can really change the mood and brighten it up too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's so good that you do that. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. So I was going to also mention, it's interesting because, I have been around people before, and I'm relating this back to what you said about, energy and, if somebody's kind of in a low vibration state. And I mean, I've had friends in the past that, maybe they were dependable friends, but they just had a consistent kind of toxic, I would say, I would label it that way, like, attitude that would get into a place that it would always just kind of bring me down. And I've become more like what I'd like to say, like I'm almost like a brain surgeon when it comes to energy in my life. Like I'm very precise and I'm very exact with who and what and how and how I'm kind of moving through the world. So what would you say to somebody who maybe is struggling and has somebody in their life that is in a different kind of state of energy? Because I know there's a lot of couples out there that, sometimes you have, your partner and you have had very successful relationships and you are a great relationship coach, because I've received some of your coaching in the past. And so how would you say to think about that or deal with that or manage that?
And you're, Travis, specifically saying being around people that have low energy or dark energy and what you should do around them, or
maybe how to encourage them, or what should you be doing to kind of, if you have to be around them and it's a relationship, or you really care about somebody, maybe it's not just mental, maybe they're in a lot of physical pain,
right?
Too, or
exactly. So I always say give people light, love, compassion, and kindness, but don't feel like you have to fix them, because that's when you get pulled in. So if you can try to stay detached, I mean, I know it's hard if it's somebody you're living with, your parents or your siblings or your children, but the best thing you could do is protect your boundaries, little white Angelica, and really think about just think about how they must be feeling and try to give them compassion. If it's too draining for you and their conversation, you can ask them politely if we could change the subject, or you could say, I'll be right back. I'm just going to take a break. You might go in the other room and just go 3 deep breaths. It depends how close the person is to you. But, right now there are more and more people that have a lot of that dark energy, because a lot of people didn't have the tools going into the pandemic, and they were busy and social and going to events and movies and dinners and being with friends and everything. So they didn't have a lot of alone time and know how to be with themselves. So it's our job, I feel like, to show them the way more. But those are that's why I think there's more people with the low vibrating energies, because of what's going on in the world right now.
Right. Now I'm going to drill a little bit into one of the adjectives or one of the words you use there, because I'm just curious how you see it and perceive it and give it. But, compassion, love. But when you say give them light, what do you mean by that?
Okay. So when someone's very dark, I just give, you just give them a bright smile, give them light. So meaning that light always outshines the darkness, right? So if you are authentic and give someone what they need, like listening and going, yeah, I can really understand what you're going through. It's terrible. So it's compassion, love, and light. Because you're bright already. And they want some of, hey, how do I get like Travis? How do I get more like Dede? How do I get more like Jason?
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. And it's interesting because, with some people, when you get metaphysical and you say, well, you got to vibe up, right? Like bring your vibration up, and it's like, well, what does that mean? I don't really know, but it's my belief that, right, we all have an innate ability and talents, and we are, I believe we are a light body inside of a physical human body, and
right.
that, that light is energy. So it's like, for me, when I need more energy, I mean, I feel it now. Of course, I get rest and I meditate and I do the things that help me stay in harmony with my energy. But it's really like, for me, I think a big part of it is owning your energy. It's yours. It's just like when you're experiencing pain, if you kind of reject it, it persists, right? What you resist persists. It's the same thing with your energy. Like when you have pain, you got to go into the pain and really realize it and own it and say, okay, this is my pain. I've got to deal with this, or this is my energy. I've got to bring it in a way that people that is authentic to me.
Right. Exactly. And I think too, with when you talk about pain and vulnerability and emotional pain, there's this great book by Pema Chodron. She's a Buddhist monk, nun. And she's written a couple of books that I read a few years ago. And I just pulled one of them out called Living Beautifully with Uncertainty. And right now, that is so important. And what you were talking about when you're in pain, she says, lean into it and it will soften, because it's part of life, right? A little vulnerability, a little worry, some doubt, some anxiety. Lean in. Don't run from it. And then you lean in, it softens, and then your light comes up again. And that's what energy and vibration, if we vibrate up here, our light shines more because we're in gratitude, compassion, and joy. When we're down here, which is okay, you're angry, you're depressed, you're moody, you're mopey, and you're darker. So that's the light and the energy that you're referring to.
I love that. I really do. And it reminds me of, and for anybody listening out there, if the Piper's Angel story, who Piper is, my daughter, she was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at 4. And it was the most heartbreaking, heavy, dark experience I'd had in my life. I mean, I felt like, it was just shattering, really. And it's not like, for me, that was heavy sadness, grief, you could say dark energy. It was a dark time. I felt like I had this dark cloud kind of hovering over my life. And it took me, on my kind of personal journey, it took me a solid 4 years to get to a point where I could look at that diagnosis and not see it as this terrible thing, but understand it and accept it, and accept the uncertainty of her life and my role as her father, and really treat it as a gift, and come at it and come from a place of gratitude to say, you know what? I see how this is making me a better dad. I see how it's bringing our family together. I see how it's rallying community and love. And so, and I would not have the perspective on this brighter side of life if it hadn't been for the fact that I had been in that really dark place. And I think we all at times in life go there.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And when I heard you as a speaker for the Happiness Club back in November, I was in awe of you because you told the story and I thought, wow, he's still shining bright. Look at him. He went through all this grief and, like you said, acceptance, and looked for the gift in the trauma of your life with your daughter. It was just amazing and beautiful. I'm so glad I got to hear you speak about it.
Yeah, and a shout out to Melanie Cabot for hosting. She is a former guest on the show and an advisor to the board of the Foundation for Piper's Angels, and we have both been speakers at her awesome events. So thank you, Melanie, for everything you do.
Yes, and I love her. And I'm on her advisory board now, and it's just
awesome.
a joy to work with her.
Yeah, for sure. She is a light as well. So we've got about 8 minutes left in the show. So I want to cover a couple of things here that I think are really cool and important to share with the audience as well. So tell us about the gift you have of claircognizance and clairvoyance and clairaudience and clairsentience. So there's multiple clairs that people have, right? Different ways of sensibilities. So how can tell us a little bit about that and how our audience can develop these high vibration communication tools?
Okay. There are 4 clairs. So, and think of it as clarity, crystal clear, right? So there's clairvoyance, which is crystal clear seeing. So you're seeing on a higher level. Then there's clairaudience, and you're hearing on a higher level. And then there's clairsentious, which is actually the most popular because it's empaths, when you're very empathic and you can feel things at a level that other people aren't feeling it. And then also claircognizance, which is just crystal clear knowing. So we all have these gifts. And usually 1 or 2 are dominant. And for me, it's claircognizance, just crystal clear knowing. I can't tell you exactly how I know it. I just know it. And I have the audience too. And I have a little bit of the, empathic, clairsentious. But the audience I get in the shower. That's my favorite place to get messages. And when you're in water of any kind, you'll get them. But when the water's pounding on your, crown chakra, you really get to hear a lot of messages. Okay. So the way to develop these, again, it's really about vibrating high. How do you get up there? You get up there with the tools, right? You write your worry, doubt, fear, frustration list because you're down here, worried, angry, sad, mopey. So you want to come up here to hope and then eventually to gratitude, compassion, joy, and love. So when you vibrate up here, that's when you're going to start to notice what is your main clair or your main gift. And the angels communicate when we're there. But also, I don't want to, because I notice when I get super vulnerable and lean into it, I hear from them too. So that's vulnerable. You might be vibrating low, but you're raw and open. So that's the story of the clairs.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was a great way to clarify it. Thank you. And I know you have this angelic connection mantra. Tell us about that.
Okay, so it's just ask, believe, and receive. And I'll tell you this, that ask, be very specific and detailed, believe it's coming, feel it, act like it's coming, and then open your arms to receive it. Because some people actually, they ask, they believe, but it comes in and they miss it because they're stuck somewhere. So be open. So ask, believe, receive.
Ask, believe, receive. Ask, believe, receive. Hey, say it with us, everybody out there, the audience. Ask, believe, and receive. Very nice. So as we kind of bring the show to a close, it always flies by when we're having fun. And this was a great conversation. I love you. You're such a good conversationalist. And I just love your energy. It's beautiful.
I love yours too. Hug.
So what is the main takeaway you want our audience to know about you and about connecting to their angels?
I want people to know that it's so easy to do and it's going to help you feel so much better. And also you have to believe it before you see it. So don't trample on don't trample your dream, your desire with doubt or worry. Just believe it before you see it, and you're going to start seeing things come in.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I had a story I really wanted to share with you, but we run out of time. So we're going to have to do this again.
Right. Angels part 2.
Yeah, we're going to have to. Part 3. It'll be part 3.
Right.
Yeah, and we've got so many great comments from our audience, and thank you everybody for tuning in and your in providing your commentary and bringing your positive messages to the show. It's always really supportive and loving, and thank you, Dede, for being our very special guest for the 100th episode celebration. This was really, really meaningful to me and to our team. And I will always remember it and cherish it. So thank you.
Oh, and thank you. It was just an honor to be here. And at the 100th episode, I just feel so excited about it and grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely. And you can check her out. So we've been flashing her website and her Instagram handle up on the screen there. There it is, feelgoodexpress.com. And follow her on Instagram. And please, if you have any questions, reach out to Dede and tap into an amazing resource and asset.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dede, again. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, Lauren. And hey, Lauren, congratulations on the baby, on being pregnant. That's awesome. I'm so excited for you. I have so much love. It just fills my heart with joy. So this is it. So I'm wrapping it up. I'm Travis Suit. You've been tuned into the Epic Love Show. You can follow this show on Instagram and Facebook. And if you haven't already, please, pretty please, 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 please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel so you get the updates and notifications. And join me next week on the Epic Love Show. We have special guest Dylan Mortimer, an incredible professional artist and sculptor who is also an inspiring cystic fibrosis warrior. So stoked to have him on. So see you next week. And until then, keep promoting the positive and please bring your epic love and energy to the world. Peace.
Yeah. Spread the love all over the world. All God's people, spread the love all over the world.